Okay, so I do recommend looking at the link that I have to the YouTube video on lateral inhibition. And I realized that the recording that I did for this slide obviously doesn't have the where I was putting the cursor. So I'm going to do this as a screenshot. And so it's basically, if you can imagine, this is the area where if you remember looking at the lighter box and the darker box and those coming together in that YouTube video. So here's an edge between something that looks really bright to us and something that looks gray. So this is like a bright white and this is like a gray. And so here's the bipolar cells being stimulated with lots and lots of light. Now, the horizontal cells are going to inhibit some of the action in the neighboring cells. So cell B is getting the same stimulation as A and C, okay, but it's getting inhibition across from via horizontal cells, okay. Cell C, however, okay, so the amount of inhibition is going to be determined by the amount of light being received. So you get lots of inhibition when there's bright light and not so much inhibition when there's less. Okay, so these guys here all get moderate stimulation, all right? So the amount of inhibition going from cell D to cell C is not as great as the inhibition going from cell B to cell C. But cell B is getting strong inhibition from A and C, whereas cell C is getting strong inhibition from cell B and only a little bit from cell D, okay? And so that means this cell won't be as inhibited as cell B and will send a stronger signal, even though they're all getting the same level of light in. Okay, so that's kind of how that makes that edge look really, really bright, right? And likewise for gray stimuli, okay, so you've got moderate stimulation coming into D, E, and F, moderate inhibition coming in, okay? And then you have cell D, which is getting moderate stimulation, it's getting moderate inhibition from one side and intense inhibition from the other side, okay? So because of that greater inhibition here on this cell, this guy is going to look a little bit darker. So that's just how the edges end up looking, just really, really enhanced. And that's lateral inhibition.